Hi guys, welcome to
Blended Roots.
Also over with. It's fine. It'll be fine.
So on that note,
all right. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. So first off, listen. If you watch some of my other TikToks, I've been on a hunt for witch's brew. Because in our minds, 4th of July is over, so it's now spooky season. I'm even dressed for the occasion.
I'm not because I couldn't remember where I put my shirt.
It's okay. There's still plenty of time. Yeah. However, witch's brew has been MIA. It's fine. We secured
people
some.
have had them.
They really have. We've seen pictures.
And we went to all the places. I even begged a distributor or a gas station. The distributor was coming that afternoon, and I begged him to get it. And he said, check back on Tuesday.
Yeah, well.
But
the lady at the gas station said I can call her tomorrow. But we did secure some.
We did.
Amber threw money at it.
I did. If there's something that I can throw money at, I'm going to.
So hopefully
our brother-in-law has secured at least 2 cases. So we know that we're getting at least 2 cases. This means that our family does not touch it.
Nope.
The husband can't touch it. The kids can't touch it. No.
No one touches it.
Randy will.
It is mom juice.
Randy will be lucky if like I open one and then I'm like, here, do you want like the last drink? And he will take it, but no, I'm not sharing.
I do
want to try
give him that.
I want to try the pumpkin one for sure, but I've heard really bad things.
Well, so today we tried to go on a hunt for pumpkin.
Pumpkin, everything. It's normally out, and normally Aldi is the place. I love Aldi.
We love Aldi for all things pumpkin, and they didn't have one daggone thing.
Even though their sales papers said that they were supposed to have some out. And they were supposed to have this gelato flat out that I've really been wanting to try, but they didn't have it either. By the way, I love all things. I love gelato, but they had a pistachio one in there, and I love pistachio, so whatever.
But we love pumpkin more.
We do. However, Kim found these this week, and I like Old Bay. I
wonder if it really tastes like a seafood boil.
Because like it would have to have a crab flavor.
Maybe, but still, it could be delicious.
But Old Bay on bacon with some brown sugar. You don't have a kick. Like, I mean, I put a lot of Old Bay, but they're good. They would be better on a sandwich.
Yeah, they would be. Oh, yeah. I love putting chips on a sandwich, too. Crunch factor.
Like, but even if you did, like, a crab roll or...
But I feel like that's kind of bland. And Old Bay seems to usually have a lot of flavor, but that feels bland.
Or it's just that I use so much of it.
Or it could be that I had to make my own freaking pumpkin spice coffee.
She's very sad.
And it's overpowering Old Bay. I don't know.
No, but they are mild, but they would be a good chip sandwich.
Yeah.
God,
I love a big
I wouldn't do it on a bologna sandwich because everybody knows barbecue is the way to go with a bologna sandwich. But I would say, like, if you did like a shrimp roll or crab, I'm not saying I would do it with a lobster because no. However, if you haven't had the lobster roll from Captain D's, they're kind of delicious.
Really good. Yeah.
And they're like the perfect size. You get 2 of them for like $5.99. And I could eat a whole one. And she could eat a whole one. It was a miracle. Because like, they're just little. So perfect size, by the way. But if you haven't had those, you should try that.
They were delicious.
Yeah. I love all seafood.
Anyways, we were on our way. Because today's episode was going to be us trying and showing you all the pumpkin things that we discovered at Aldi. But because there were no pumpkin things that were, found at Aldi, we couldn't go that route. However, on our way to Aldi, we stopped at our mom's house, and she had some things to tell us. And if you know anything about our family, you don't mess with our family.
Mm-mm.
That's just all there is to it.
Oh, we can mess with you all we want.
I know, little guard dog. Our little 7-pound guard dog. But don't mess with our family. That's just one thing you don't do. We may argue, but you don't mess with our family.
We can fight amongst each other, and that is perfectly fine. But you come after my mom, and that, if you come after my dad, and you can ask my dad's brother, I will come for you. Like, it's inevitable. So I would just let you know, like, don't do that. It's not a very smart idea, but people still think that they should come after somebody who's not done anything wrong, which is stupid, but whatever.
She's probably one of the best women I know. She's got her faults, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, she does.
But that
She
woman
knows.
will bend over backwards for anybody.
Even though she shouldn't.
Even though she shouldn't.
Yeah.
She still does.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings us to a topic that I have been avoiding a little bit. We've mentioned it kind of in some previous episodes, but I've been kind of avoiding it because there's still a lot of emotion behind it. But family is above all, okay? And I have said for a while now that the family that I have created is more important than the family that I came from. And the family that I created includes the Hanners and the Littletons. Those come as part of the family I've created. I don't even know where to start.
So
I don't even know where to start.
I will start.
I'll let you kick it off. I'll jump in.
So, ever since we have been a blended family, even before, you have to treat my children, mine and Randy's children, the same as you would treat Bryson. That started to not happen. And it was very evident to my children, and my children got very hurt. And it did cause some tension between us. It just did. And I'm like, it's not fair that they're now treating Bryson that he is better than my children. Because he is not.
Because it wasn't that way prior to Bryson.
No.
It wasn't.
No. And it wasn't. And it shouldn't have changed. But it did.
It did.
And we let it go on. And my kids were just like, it's whatever. They would have to beg to spend time with them before they would acknowledge them. And it hurt my son more than it hurt my daughter. There were things that happened later that hurt my daughter because they put her in an impossible situation, and that still to this day makes me so mad.
But like Rhiannon would like whisper to Bryson and be like, "Hey,
yeah,
ask if I can spend the night with you too."
Yeah.
Because my biological parents would come and pick up my bio son every Friday, and they would keep him on through Saturday and sometimes even through Sunday. And it was just kind of like an unwritten thing. Like Friday after work, they would pick him up. That was the routine. And for a very long time, like, I guess Rhiannon was more just trying to like play it off. Like, it's fine, whatever. He's going to their house. So he would go to Roberta's house. And that's where he would stay. But there was several times where it was not routine situation. Bryson wanted to spend the night, and Rhiannon would try to get Bryson to ask if he could go, or sometimes he would just flat out ask.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where sometimes they started telling him no. And then that started to become more frequent, that they would tell him no.
So then it came to where Bryson didn't go at all.
We stopped it. And, it's funny, we were talking about this on the way home from Aldi, but, very much was a walk on eggshells type of person around them for most of my life. And, I would stand up to them a couple times, tell them, like, you're not treating the kids the same. You're showing favoritism. You're not spending any time with the other kids. And it would resolve itself for a short period of time, maybe a month, and immediately fall right back into the old ways. I
ended up getting my boys, mine and Jeremy's. And we then had, now my parents have always, they do it for all of them. Even before me and Jeremy were married, they treated the grandkids all the same. Didn't matter.
Everybody, the second that we found out we were pregnant with Bryson,
Mom opened like a savings account. Mom was at Bryson's shower, like had him a custom diaper bag made. I mean, she did the things that she would do for me and Paige. She did it for Bryson too.
Yep.
Because that is not
her grandbaby.
It is her grandbaby, but we didn't know exactly how it would play out. I mean,
but she was going to claim him.
Right. But we worked it all out. But then whenever we got my boys, we had the same rule. My two boys, their mother is no longer with us. She does have a family that is they still deserve to be a part of their life. It was a little hard for a while, but I did let her sister know that if you take two of them, you take three of them. Because my son at that time was old enough that he was like, I want to do my own thing. Like,
yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not going to advocate for you, but if you want me to, she's going to take all four. Like, she's going to,
I mean, she'd invited him fishing one time.
Yeah. And she still would.
She knew that Rhiannon liked to fish.
But Rhiannon called her up and said, hey, Sarah, let's go fishing. She would do it.
She would do it.
Like, but we have had our moments with her, and she knows that. And, like, me and her are a lot alike, so it's fine. But she had sent me a message after she had the boys, and she said, I just don't think I can take Bryson anymore. And Kim and Randy were there at the time that it happened.
Yeah, I think we were at your mom's house.
Yeah, we were all sitting around her island in the basement. And I told my husband, I said, I'm getting ready to make our world like a lot harder. So I'm just letting you know, because she's asking just for Logan and Grayson. And I told her, I'm really sorry, but this is our rule. Either you take all of them or you get none of them. You decide.
And what's funny is that very night, or maybe the next night, we had planned, right after Taekwondo, I was going to drive the kids out to my brother's house and my sister-in-law's house. And it was going to be Kaylin and Rhiannon, actually were invited this time, and Bryson. And after all of this happened,
and I didn't say anything to Kim and Randy about.
No, you didn't. It. But I just didn't feel
because
right.
I knew how her family was.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, we had been through this several times before, but I just didn't feel right about the situation, and so I asked if the other two littles could join in on the sleepover, and I was told no. And at the time, I think the excuse was like it'd be just too much or whatever. And Kaylin was like 15.
Yeah, and we don't know them well enough, and like
Kaylin
they're not really our family. Like, why would we do that?
Yeah. And Kaylin was 15 or so.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, 15, because I don't think she was driving yet.
No, she might have been 14 or 15.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And Rhiannon was definitely double digits. Old enough that they could help with the younger boys, for sure.
Kaylin had already helped with Grayson
tremendously.
And we can explain that one day in depth, because we've been through it with him.
So, like, and it was I don't know why I still let them go, but I did. I still let them go. but after they came back home, it was just weird. It was weird. Like there was just a weird tension that was in the air with my brother.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember how long after that it was that our world just kind of crumbled for a hot second. But what Christmas was it?
The Christmas that you had a panic attack in your laundry
Yeah.
room? That was before we even had the boys.
No. The Christmas that everything just
Oh, that was
crumbled.
Christmas of 2019.
Was it 2019? No.
No.
2021. Right?
Oh, yeah, because
Or
we were...
22.
No, it would have
It's
been 21.
25
It would have been
now.
21.
Yeah, because that next Easter
Because
was
you
when-
were like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, because we had
Okay,
had such a
so-
good 2020 Christmas.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So Christmas of 2021, we had made plans that we were going to have the Ham family Christmas at my house, but it was going to be kind of like a
It was a New Year's.
Christmas, New Year's thing,
Yeah.
because of how busy everything was. So, I planned all of these games and all of this stuff. We were doing like minute to win it games and everything. Had
And
all
me
of
and
it
Jeremy
set
were
up.
not going.
No.
We were not invited because they don't understand they don't understand.
They also just don't really acknowledge it. They didn't.
And his mom, or her mom, did not like me. She told me things about Randy that I didn't even know. And number one, wasn't her place. Number two, it was the wrong time to be telling a lady who had just had a baby, like, all these horrible things that your husband had done. So, like, I've never really, like, acknowledged that with her, but I would love to, because I'd like to let her know what I think. But
It's fine. We don't talk to them now.
Yeah.
But, so anyways, it was, my parents were already there. And
you kept waiting.
I was just waiting and waiting and waiting. And
She
it
was finally like, where are
like
they?
I texted them and I was like, hey, are you guys on your way? Because like at the time they lived like, is it Mount Sterling? Is that where they lived?
Yeah.
They lived in Mount Sterling. So it was a bit of a drive, and you know, that's fine, whatever. So I was like, hey, you guys on your way? At this point I blocked it out and I can't hardly even remember after that. I don't even remember. Did he respond?
I think your mom finally said that they weren't coming. Like,
maybe-
the jig is
yeah.
up. They're not coming because of what had happened at a Christmas party prior.
And it was it that same year, but it was like maybe a month earlier.
That
because
you
we
all had
waited
done like
so long.
December birthdays or whatever, and you all
Yeah.
just went ahead and did like Christmas.
We did Christmas.
But there was like 100 people in the size of, like, I don't know. Their house is maybe 1,500 square feet. Like, I
And
mean,
that
it's
was
very
with the
small.
add-on. Yeah, it was a very small space. Apparently Randy had accidentally like brushed up against my sister-in-law's chest. And there was a misconception that it was on purpose, and
Because of Randy's past and things that he has done, it made her feel uncomfortable. Well, number one, his past is in his past. And how did they even know? Like, Stephanie wasn't around. She has no idea. And
No.
Cody wasn't even old enough to even
Yeah.
know what all had happened, really.
and secondly, he would, totally would have done that in front of the entire family.
Yeah.
There was like,
50 people.
our
least.
entire family was there. Really gonna do that right in front of everybody? Who
Yeah, but
knows
he was
what
making
going
a
on?
pass at her.
And it made her uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And
They had text.
Randy had apologized, like sincerely
But-
apologized
well,
for making her feel that
After
way.
they said, this is what happened, this is why we're not coming. And he was like, what are you talking about? And it took a couple of days. And we were like, what? Okay, so, and then Cody wrote out this big old long thing. And Stephanie wrote this big old long thing. And like, we were reading it, and Kaylin got in the middle because they had already told her.
So Kaylin had become really close with my sister-in-law. My sister-in-law had horses, and Kaylin was super into the horses, and they really hit it off from the beginning.
Yeah,
and I felt really bad.
It should have been an aunt relationship.
Yeah,
but she took it from an aunt family relationship to like you're my best friend relationship. Well, she's a 16, 17.
I think at the time she was like 16 going on 17 maybe. So I don't know.
So she
was old enough to like drive out there by herself because we'd let her go by herself a couple of times.
But she had put her in this impossible situation. And that's what I didn't appreciate was that the fact that they were trying to put our kids in the middle. My kids are not pawns. None of my children are pawns in a game. They're children. You just don't. And now that maybe they're parents, they'll someday understand what they did
and
was so
parents
wrong.
to a daughter.
Yeah.
So,
So hopefully someday they learn something from what they did. But
so
it was a whole thing. Randy ended up apologizing. He didn't remember doing it, but he was like, I will apologize. I will fall on this sword. He wrote a very lovely apology.
It was very sincere, a very genuine apology. Like, I truly hate that I've made you feel this way because he really did like them.
Yeah.
Like, other than the fact that we didn't really treat the kids equally.
But Randy's always tried to be like the glue.
The peacemaker.
Like
yeah.
Like normally it's a mom or a dad that's that, but for them, Randy had to basically be their parents in a lot of situations. So he was trying to like make everything better. It was like trying to get a brother and a sister to get along, but it was Kim and her parents.
Yeah.
Make them get along.
Right.
It's a completely
he had to smooth over a lot of things. But he like made this very sincere apology, and they even accepted the apology.
Well, they said they did.
They said they did. The text said that they appreciated the apology. They really want to move past this, like that they still loved us and all of this. Like, so as far as me and Randy were concerned, like, we were good.
This situation did cause an issue between us. And we can explain that a different day, but me and Kim have now gotten over that. It was just they had put our daughter in a terrible situation.
They really did.
Because no one could talk about it. Like, it was so raw and everybody was so hurt that like all Kim could hear is the words, but not the actual like what had happened.
Because it all came to a head on Christmas Eve.
It was New Year's Eve.
That's what I meant.
It was New Year's Eve.
That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
On New Year's Eve, when Kaylin had a friend over for New Year's Eve, and that's when everything
Kaylin called me crying. Kaylin called me crying. I'll just go into it a little bit. Kaylin called me crying. And I hear Kim screaming. And I'm like, hell no. So we lived across the street from each other. I run down the hill, go in, and I'm like, shut the F up. And Kim's like, you can't tell me what to do. And I was like, shut up for a minute. And Randy's like, everybody calm down. Like, I don't know what's happening right now. And Kaylin's crying, and the little girl's trying to leave that was spending the night there. And it was just a situation. But it ended with me calling her brother. And I told her brother all about himself. And we made up pretty quickly, but it was hard.
Yeah, it was.
It was just, I had to let Kim know that, number one, no, you're not going to scream at my daughter, even though Kim didn't know what she was screaming for.
I mean, because at the time, I had asked her, like, can we please step away to talk about this? Because I want to read your text messages. And Kaylin kept telling me no. And that just made me mad.
Because she's mine. Kaylin is mine. She gets it from me.
That made me mad, and that's where everything escalated from there.
But it was fine at the end of the day. Like, but we have to scream it out. Just to let you, we have to actually scream it out. Our
family is like, we scream it out. We're done. At the end of the day, we make up and we're good. We move on.
And I will kill
say
for
our
you.
Piece, and but it finally got the whole story pieced together. And
they had went behind all of our backs. And we're
was
contacting
Kaylin and
Rhiannon, and they contacted Bryson on Discord.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't tell your mom. Don't tell your dad.
You can see that! On the night of the Christmas party, they were messaging Bryson on Discord saying, is your mom mad at me?
Yeah. And I was like, mm-mm.
Yeah,
You
it
don't
was
bring
it was
children
bad.
into adult
It
situations.
was bad. And at that time, my brother told Amber, I don't even know why I'm talking to you. You are nothing to Bryson.
It was on.
Jeremy took the phone and yelled at my brother.
Oh, I threatened to get in my car and drive to Mountain Sterling.
Jeremy is not like a confrontational guy. Okay, he's just not. And he yelled at him and dared him to speak to Amber that way again. However, you know, all of that.
You all tried to move on. You tried. You did.
We tried.
Kim sent me. It was 2 days later, and I knew what was going to happen because, God love her, she tried to make it better with her parents because your parents are supposed to be there for you. They just are. Her parents weren't. Like, I'm sorry, they just weren't. They were the child in the situation. But she decided, she said, I'm going to try to make up with Cody. And she sent me what she was getting ready to send him. And it was hard for me to say it to her. And I said, you do you, but I am not. Don't ask me to do anything.
Yeah. Well, and Randy had convinced me to give them one last shot.
Even though we had said that a million times.
I know. But he said, you've got to give them one last chance because you put the ball in their court.
Yeah.
And then we can walk away knowing that we did the right thing.
Yep.
So Randy convinced me one last chance. And so I told them that.
And this was January.
Yeah. I told them that. This is it. Like, you change or
it goes back to the old way.
We're done. They came over for one breakfast, like a couple weekends later, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we'd even told you that you and Jeremy could come over, and you're like, yeah, no.
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
But we invited them over for breakfast. They came. Just the parents.
Mm-hmm.
Brother and sister-in-law didn't come.
They were in Florida.
Listen, there's so many more stories that I could tell you about why I felt like the black sheep of the family, but we're not going to go down that road. Anyways, so they came, and it was the most awkward breakfast I think I've ever been to.
We did send the littles. The littles were there.
Yeah,
but me and Jeremy.
The babies came.
Yeah.
Babies came.
And they had dropped off after that, they had dropped off Easter baskets.
No, not even that yet, because we went to Cincinnati. No.
They dropped off Easter baskets. This was after.
No, when I had the blow up in the donut store. What town were we in?
We were in Cincinnati.
Was it Cincinnati?
We were in Global Gyms, and we were in the hot sauce aisle. The hot sauce aisle is forever ruined for me.
And that donut shop.
And the donut shop. I had to apologize to them.
So that's when I decided I was done.
Yes.
Because we
were out of town for my birthday. Me and a couple of friends that we used to work with. They were managers at the time, so it was a hush-hush kind of thing. We couldn't tell people that I was with them or vice versa. So we went out of town. Turns out my car was on the news because there was a fire at where we were staying.
The building. But
there was a tornado warning, but they were supposed to come get the kids.
Yes.
We called and
we told them no. But then that's when my maternal uncle passed away.
Oh yeah.
And they told me that my maternal uncle passed away. And so he had asked, like, he was on the phone crying, and he was like, can I see Bryson? And I was like, well, you're more than welcome to see him.
Yeah, he's at Roberta's.
But then he calls Randy and tells Randy that I told him he could pick
to get
him
his
up.
Stuff together.
That he could pick him up. So by the time we got to the donut store is when I finally called him back, and I was like, I did not tell you that you could take him.
Randy called, and he said, hey, babe, this doesn't sound like...
Why is your dad
just... Because Randy had he had the littles. Jeremy was at work. He had the littles.
And he had all 5 of them.
Yeah, and he was like, something didn't sound right. Is this right?
And we knew that there was a tornado warning in the area.
And they lived in like
a tiny trailer.
Yeah, and we were like...
And listen,
No.
nothing against anybody that lives in a
No,
trailer.
I lived in a trailer.
However,
It's fine.
and I grew up in a trailer.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But when there's a tornado warning, if I've got to choose between my son being at my home
With his father
right down the street from a grandmother that has a basement, or going to a home that is a trailer on a hill, I'm gonna choose to have him stay with my husband.
We never would have just sent one.
Right.
Again, we were done. We were done
Right.
with you're only taking one.
Right. So I called him back, and that is when all hell broke loose. And I cussed him up one side and down the other, and I told him
I am screaming and crying, and I remove myself from the situation before I rip the phone out of her hand.
And I tell him that I have more than one child, and he told me that I didn't. And that he didn't think that they treated the children differently, and that he let Grayson and Logan call him Papa. And just all of these things, it was very obvious that he just wasn't getting it at that point. Just wasn't getting it. So it got to the situation, it got to the point where Amber had to send in our friend with anxiety medication and a drink, and told me to take it, and that I needed to end the conversation, or she was ending it for me.
I said, if you don't hang up in 5, I called Randy and I said, here's what's happening. I said, I'm going to let you know how I'm handling this, because you're 3 hours away, so I am handling this. And he was like, okay, just hang up on him. And I was like, okay.
So
that didn't have to happen, thank God.
I did finally just end the conversation, and we left. And I know that we traumatized this poor girl that was with us, but I couldn't help it.
I left her a tip.
There were
Hopefully a
things.
generous one.
Listen, there were things that had to be said, because at that point I was done. There were things that had to be said.
There's a lot of emotional trauma
from my childhood,
Yeah.
all the way up through adulthood. So got through that whole situation, and I was done. That's when I told Randy I was done. Maybe the breakfast came after the trip. I think the breakfast came after the trip, because I told Randy that I was done. And I think that's when he said we need to put it back in their court. So maybe I'm getting my timeline a little different. But anyways, very shortly after was Easter. And my mom stopped on that Friday after work and dropped off Easter baskets for
all of them.
Was it all 5 of them? I
Yeah.
think she did actually.
Yeah, it was all of them. It was all of them.
All 5
And they
of
were
them.
all pretty identical too. I mean, my colors might have been different, but
like she just did the same for all of them, which is fine. Whatever.
I don't care. I don't care.
It's fine. She got something for all 5 of them. And then the next day was Easter, and I didn't go to my grandparents' house, because we always went to my grandparents' house. Or I'm sorry, 2 days after was Easter, and I didn't go. And then, there was a little bit of time, and there wasn't really any contact. I had no real need to contact them. And then I saw on Facebook that they had a Mother's Day get together at my granny's house, and didn't even tell me anything about it. And that is the moment that I went radio silent. I have had family members try to reach out to me I'm going to preface this with, I've only had a couple of family members attempt to reach out to me. And even then, they weren't asking what the situation was. They were just saying, we miss you.
Yeah.
So not one person asked
We
me
didn't
my
tell
side of the story.
her family that we moved. They don't need to know. Her dad did find out. But there was a card that showed up here shortly after we moved. And I did make the decision with Randy. I said, this has her name on it. I know this handwriting. I said, I'm going to read it before I give it to her, because we're not doing this. We're not digging it up. And Randy said, no, I agree. If it's not something that she needs to see, it's not something that she needs to see. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's just saying like Merry Christmas to her and Bryson.
But yeah, so up until that point, so we're like 2.5 years out.
Yeah.
That I've not said a word to them.
They hadn't really she hadn't sent anything until we moved.
Yeah.
But it was forwarded to us.
Yeah. But I had always said that the one grandmother was the one that I really missed.
It was this Christmas that ended.
And this Christmas, I got a card
with the correct address on it because her dad accidentally found out where we lived.
Yeah, unfortunately, but you know what? It is what it is. Whatever.
In his line of work, he does a lot of homework, and he so happened
he was two
houses down, and he saw Bryson, and Bryson came in the house.
Was like, oh my god, I don't know what to do.
Terrified, and I was like, just get in the house, and we're good.
It's fine.
Like it's fine. He's not gonna hurt. They're not gonna hurt him.
No.
But Bryson just knew that
that we just didn't want any contact with them.
Yeah. Because we had told him enough that we were like, here is why we're doing what we're doing, you know. And because if he decides later on that he wants to have a relationship with him,
that's on him.
That's on him. I highly doubt that they will seek one out.
But he was the one that they were actually showing attention to, right. So we had to explain to him like why you've stopped going to their house and all of this stuff. But,
and he understood fully. He was like, no, I get it. He was like, that's
like,
not
imagine
fair.
how the other kids feel.
Yeah.
That they don't have a bedroom at their house and that they don't ever get asked to spend the night or go to McDonald's or go to the park.
Yeah.
You know. So anyways,
the child understood it better than her family.
He did.
Yeah.
But the Christmas card was from this grandmother who I said I missed the most from my biological family.
This is the second Christmas card.
Yes. But this past Christmas, it actually said, Merry Christmas, we miss you, Kim and Bryson. Didn't even acknowledge my husband, who I've been with for 16 years. And at that point, I was done with...
Well, there was one thing that happened before that.
I don't remember what happened before that.
Kim went into Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
And we had already moved by then.
Yep.
We were living here, and Kim was in Walmart. She didn't see them.
Bio parents.
She didn't see them. She came out to her car, and there was a note. If your parents leave a note on your car, wouldn't you sign it, Mom and Dad? Wouldn't you? If it's a child that you haven't seen in 3 years, wouldn't you? Like, maybe. No, since they signed it
S and J.
S and J.
They knew.
Yeah.
So I will say that I had good moments with my parents. I did. I have some very great memories from my childhood that I cherish. And
we wish that our kids could have had those moments.
Yes.
Like,
and I hate that this is where we are at. And some people may not understand why we are in this situation. But I refuse to be in contact with a family member, an entire biological family, who are not going to acknowledge all of my children or treat the other mother like she has done something wrong.
Because trust me, whenever I tell you, I will die for Bryson. I will die for any of my children. I will gladly die for them. Don't ever tell me that my son is not my son. Ever. Like, just don't. Our kids are off limits. They just are. You don't get to hurt them.
Yep.
I hate that they hurt Kim, but you're certainly not going to continue the trauma onto our children.
And I know that it sounds very contradictory because our mantra is, if you are willing to die for them, you can be willing to get along for them. But I am not going to pass that trauma on our children.
Generational trauma
I'm not doing
that's not the same. Generational trauma happens over and over and over. We
are breaking that. We are breaking that. Because there were a lot of other things that went into this decision. It was not taken lightly. And let me tell you,
I've
even
cut out
though-
family, and it didn't happen for a long. Well, I mean, it's probably about the same amount of time now, but
Now,
it was
yes.
years before, because I'm not gonna let your crap spill over into my life and that hurt my children or my children be involved in some way. But
I mean, because we're talking about like the mental distress that I dealt with
she had to have
on a day-to-day basis.
She had to have surgery about 6-7 months after all of this happened. And Randy sent me a message and he said she doesn't want me to tell her parents. And I said, then you don't. I said, my mom and dad already know. And
that's
that's
all that
what
matters.
Kim had said.
She's like, I said, Henry and Roberta know, and that's what matters.
She said, what parent? You already told Henry and Roberta. They already know. And she was under. She's in surgery. And he said, and I said, Randy, if you do that, she will never forgive you. She will never forgive you. And he was like, fine, I won't. But I don't like this. And I said, and I get that you don't like it, but that's her choice. And if she gets up from surgery and decides she wants them to know, then she gets to do that, but not you. You don't get to do that for her. So even when she's knocked out cold, I will fight for her. It's fine. I will fight for her. But it was a hard situation for Kim. It really was. But I would do the same thing because, yeah, don't ever tell me, oh, her brother telling me that Bronson was not my son.
That you were nothing to him.
Yeah.
Listen, I know that it was a very hard situation for the adults to deal with, but in the end, the kids have been better for it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a very unfortunate situation. I completely understand that. But I do not regret making that decision, and I would do the same thing.
No, I mean, and I would cut my family off if a situation, I just would, because my kids deserve that.
Our kids come first.
Yeah.
Our
Because again,
kids come first.
we would die for our kids. So we're going to get along for them, but we're not going to continue to
generational trauma.
It's just not going to happen.
Nope.
Not worth it.
So, fortunately, I think we've made it through 2 of the hardest conversations and stories to have.
Actually, 3.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've made it through 3 of some of the hardest memories that we've had to revisit. But you need to know those stories to understand the bond that we have.
And we have had questions as to why Kim has cut off her family, or why
was
she
adopted at 30.
Yeah, like, why did my mom and dad have adoption papers drawn up? Because like that's just how my family is. Like, you are family. Whether you were born into our family, we will cut you out of our family if we have to. Like, but we've made it an amazing family.
Ohana means family.
Wrong arm.
Yep, there you go.
But
Other one.
our sister has one too, so we actually have matching Ohana. They're not matching, but we can put the picture. They're all stacked on top of each other.
We have a picture.
But we will die for our kids. We will get along for them, but we will stop any trauma that they don't need in their lives.
Absolutely. Gonna take care of our kiddos.
Yep.
Put them first. All right, guys. Once again, thanks for listening. Bye.
Come back next week and hang out with the moms
on another episode of
Landed Roots.